Alokji, please stay on with us as we shift the spotlight towards Bangladesh, and we've just got news coming through here on the right stand. Top intelligence sources have told CNN News 18 that the assassination of Sharif Osman Hadi, the convener of the Inqilab Moncho and one of the organizers of the July uprising, was used to mobilize street protests and fuel agitation against Bharat rather than being the result of an ideological rivalry. Now, as per sources, Usman Hadi was no longer aligned with any single political party or political patron. As a spokesperson of the Inqilab Moncho, he had criticized the Awami League, challenged the BNP leadership and refused backing from Jamaat, making him politically unpredictable ahead of Bangladesh 2026 election scheduled for February. So sources have told CNN News 18 and Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these details that Osman Hadi's death helped street mobilization, media intimidation and justification for emergency-style governance. Now, various intel inputs suggest that many political parties had begun viewing the student leader as disruptive by late 2025. The main shooter, identified as Faisal Karim Masood, a former Chhatra League leader, and bike rider Alamgir Sheikh, were clearly involved in the killing. Now, as per sources, Faisal was part of an internal network within Hadi's own ecosystem, indicating political infiltration rather than ideological rivalry. Bangladesh police allege that the suspects fled to Bharat via Meghalaya and have sought their extradition. However, intel sources have said that there was no CCTV footage, border sensor data or telecom evidence to substantiate the claim that the suspects had entered Bharat. The Bharat-linked allegation surfaced after protests and riots had already broken out, raising questions about the timing of this entire narrative. Now, intel sources suggested that the Bharat angle may have been introduced to divert attention and protect possible Jamaat-linked associates. In fact, the BSF has now come back and clearly said that in that entire region, be it Meghalaya, Tripura and the regions, there is no presence of these two on Bharatiya soil. This has been endorsed by the Meghalaya police also, and these details have been put out on News 18. So clearly, Bharat has nothing to do with this. This is an internal job, and it's being done to create this frenzy and this furor so that there is no single political party, and this person who was a variable who could swing either ways is removed, but you are able to cement and you can try stoke the kind of passions and then slowly move the public mood, swing it in a particular way that's convenient for these rabble-rousers under Mohammad Yunus, or perhaps going forward whoever would be on power. But more importantly, the control remains in the hands of the radicals. Alok Bansal, Executive Vice President, India Foundation, with us. Rana Meher, Bangladesh activist, also with us. Rana ji, namaste. Alok ji stays on with us. Your assessment, your understanding, because there are many. Hadi's own brother has turned around and blamed Yunus for the killing and said that you've gotten it done. This entire, shosha or hype about Bharat being involved, now it emerges that the first posts came out of Pakistan about Bharat's involvement on social media.
Sorry, is the question to me?
Yes, Ranaji.
Oh, okay. Hadi is you can say Hadi is a very interesting character. He was portrayed as a hero. He was portrayed as a very open-minded person, but so far we already know he was not like that. And I will contradict a little bit about what you said, that he was not aligned with any political parties. But alignment does not come officially being a political party's member. Alignment comes from ideology as well. And so far, Hadi's ideology is very close to Jamaat-e-Islami and other Islamic radical parties. So that is one thing. And about involvement of India, as you have already mentioned, it is kind of established fact that India, at least from India's side, that Faisal and Alamgir, they were part of Hadi's internal group, and some of the Hadi's fan club, they try to portray they fled to India, but there is no evidence so far. So if we just keep aside India's involvement in it, we can talk about who could be benefited about that young person's Hadi's death. After Hadi's death, you can see the rampage took place in Bangladesh. Two newspapers who, to me, were quite in line with Jamaat-e-Islami and BNP. They were set in fire because they claimed they were serving the purpose of India. two of the biggest cultural group of Bangladesh, Chayanot and Udichi, they were attacked as well as a result of Hadi's murder. And who is taking the result of this? The result is going inside the pocket of the Islamic radicals. So, yes, we can check who was involved outside of Bangladesh. We can talk months after India and Pakistan and others, but we need to see what is happening inside Bangladesh and who is being benefited of it. And just to let you know, I'm sure you are aware of it. Yesterday, news came up in Bangladeshi media that one of the foreign policymaker from Afghanistan, Mr. Jawandi, he's in Bangladesh for a couple of days. He's going through several meetings of some very dubious characters, some very prominent Islamic terrorist leaders. So we can, if we want to, at least I will make some connection about Hadi's death, what is happening afterward, and somebody coming from Afghanistan having lots of meeting and sitting with some of this Islamic terrorist leader.
This entire opening it up to radicals and the Islamist groupings, which are perhaps operating in the shadows, and they want a certain level of control. We just have some more information. This is the ISI involvement, because they have already set up offices under Muhammad Yunus, and openly he's been engaging with them. Now, Pakistan's engagement with Bangladesh's interim administration, headed by Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus, has also come under sharp scrutiny amidst growing concerns of external interference ahead of the nation's general elections. CNN News 18 has learned from top diplomatic and intelligence sources, and sources telling CNN News 18 that Pakistan has been maintaining continuous contact with the interim regime as well as political groups opposed to former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, prompting concerns over interference in Bangladesh's internal political processes. Watchdog groups and members of diplomatic community in Dhaka are closely monitoring these developments, sources said. Intel reports reviewed by CNN News 18 allege that Pakistan is actively maneuvering Bangladesh's political landscape by extending support to opposition parties, including Khalida Zia's Bangladesh Nationalist Party and Shafiqur Rahman-led Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami ahead of the polls. Now, reports further claim that Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI, is suspected of providing covert financial assistance to these groups, allegations that Islamabad has not publicly responded to. Just bringing in Alok Bansalji also, and then Ranaji, I'll come back to you. Now, the involvement of the ISI is open because they have come back into Dhaka, they've met Muhammad Yunus, there are pictures of them sitting and engaging. And also the narratives, the sloganeering that is coming from the streets about Jammu and Kashmir, the fact that Khalistanis turned up in the United Kingdom when Bangladesh Hindus were protesting against what is happening in Bangladesh. So there is an involvement. But more importantly, is there an attempt to try and deny the elections, or to try and ensure that radicals are in control? Because some of the radical clerics from Pakistan have also come along with these colonels, and those details are also out here now. Ji, Alok ji.
See, firstly, we must be very clear. According to me, Hadi was eliminated to create disturbance because there is a certain section of Bangladesh which does not want elections. Please understand, there are sections of Bangladesh political establishment which does not want elections, like Jamaat has never won an election. The students who are claiming everything and anything are sure not to win the elections. If an elections take place without Awami League, BNP is virtually guaranteed a victory. Now, while BNP wants the elections, these people who can never win an election want to continue with this sort of an ad hoc arrangement, and that's why you are seeing this sort of an anarchy that's going on. So that's the first thing. Second, as far as ISI is concerned, right from the time Sheikh Hasina's government was toppled, ISI's involvement has been there. In fact, the toppling itself, it was supported by the US establishment and Pakistan's ISI. So let there be no doubt that ISI has grown in strength. There have been connections between Pakistan's military establishment trying to reach out to Bangladesh. There have been ISI infiltration within the administration and other sections of the society. So they are obviously trying to pit Bangladesh against India because they don't want an election, because they realize that if elections take place, even if Awami League is not allowed to participate, the government which will come will represent people's will. And Bangladesh's population has a lot in common with India. They depend on India for education, healthcare, and many other things. They share the common culture, linguistic affinity across borders. So, economic linkages are there. So, if there is an elected government, it will slowly but certainly improve relations with India, which probably ISI doesn't want. Whereas if you have an unelected, ad hoc, illegal government like the present one continuing to rule, it does not have to bother about popular sentiment, and it can do whatever they want to. And they need to continuously whip up emotions against India and take actions which actually take Bangladesh's economy to the nadir. So that's what they are doing. The Bangladesh's economy has actually really gone down ever since Sheikh Hasina has been removed. So we are seeing all this, and there is a concerted effort by anti-India forces as well as those forces which have never won an election and know that they will never win an election to now defer these
The point
elections.
is, but the field of play is already cleared because of the fact that Awami League is not allowed to participate. Awami League is banned. So, so will the Chhatra League. So, they will not be allowed to participate in the elections. The other thing is that during Sheikh Hasina's time, had there been an alternative political party which would have been there in opposition, the story would have been different in Bangladesh. Perhaps in her wisdom, she would, on hindsight, that had the BNP been allowed and encouraged to be a strong opposition voice, there would not have been this kind of a turmoil that radicals could call the shots, having an octogenarian sitting there who does not even hold a Bangladeshi passport anymore. He's not even a Bangladesh citizen. He's given up that citizenship. He holds a US and a French passport. It's a travesty what's happening in the neighborhood, but it's happening. Ranaji, how do you see this? Do you see elections happening in February? Or are you worried that what will happen will be nothing but a sham and somewhere the Jamaat will be in control? Or when I say Jamaat and its Tanzeems?
Okay, we can always hope for the best. We can always hope that a fair election will take place and a fair political party who will think about Bangladesh and who will also think about the neighboring countries.
Right.
But so far, I cannot be hopeful. I'm sorry. I wish I can be. First thing, the election, if it is taking place, first thing. Secondly, if it does take place, we have to remember Awami League is the biggest political party in Bangladesh, and we have a significant number of voters who still want to vote for Awami League, and they are not being part of this election by force. So Awami League is out of question, and Awami League is the only secular political party in Bangladesh so far. We have seen BNP Jamaat, we have seen them in 2001, so I'm not quite sure if they come to power. If you do remember, in 2001 when the BNP Jamaat, they came to power, there was mass murder, mass torture, and everything happened towards the Hindu community. And so far, there is no sign that that kind of thing will not happen because the interim government, who is very much sided towards Jamaat, they are not doing anything to stop against what's happening against the Hindu communities. After election, sorry to stop you. I'm so sorry. After election, if they do come to power, I am sorry, I am not being very helpful. I'm not being very hopeful. I do not think without Awami League, the election will be fair, and I do not think who will come to power, BNP or Jamaat, they will work for Bangladesh.
Well, even as we speak, where there are just more pictures of more Hindu homes being burned, more Hindus being targeted in Bangladesh. It was difficult to keep the focus away from there, but we wanted to focus on what's going to happen next in Bangladesh. Despite the atrocities on ground, is there any hope? Is there any silver lining to this dark cloud? Unfortunately, at this moment, there appears none. I thank you all. I've got to wind up on that note. Thank you very much. Namaste.